Why didn't Jesus Christ himself convert the whole world to his word? Indeed, he could well have done. He says so himself. God could make these stones here present into children of Abraham. This question of the absence of success on occasions with respect to the religion of Christ is also posed by the Islamic believers, which is said at a given moment, if God had willed it so, could he not have done for all of you believers, whoever it didn't do so? Muslims submit and recognize that this is God's action without understanding the reason. Christians, the religion of friendship with God, have been given the opportunity to understand why. In fact, the religion of Christ is Catholic. This means that he does not only deal with believers, he considers all men symbolized on the cross by the bad thief, therefore the man of ill will from all regions, and they are the good thief, the man of good will. He awaits all religions, even among atheists and also Christians. It means that everything that God has done on earth prepares for salvation, which will be proposed by Christ. And the dogma of the Catholic faith in Gaudium et Spes 22:5 affirms that we must all good and that this salvation will be offered to every man. So God has time, and sometimes a life spent far from Him in the anguish of having no answer to anything prepares salvation more effectively than an entire life given to faith. It sounds weird, but it's simple. Whoever does not know God, Christ, and His good news is evil, is anxious, and ends up being, if he is good because death is approaching, if he discovers at the hour of death Christ who is real, accompanied by saints and angels, who explains everything to him, resulting from the consequences of having much sin, the soul would much suffer anxiety. Finally, the soul may then throw himself into Jesus' merciful arms. The soul would therefore love him more intensely than if for all his life he had known that he is Jesus Christ, and resulting from this, the soul had become too familiar in Jesus, so being he no longer awaited his encounter. Be aware, what I'm saying here does not mean that being a Christian would be worse than not being a Christian. On the contrary, to be a Christian is really to know where you are going. It is an extraordinary opportunity. It's like a boat that has a direction, but be aware this extraordinary grace which some have received should not be used out of pride, because ultimately those who will be the greatest in heaven are those who will love the most and those who remain the most humble. In any case, God prefers to use his apostles, and so he gave a few graces to teach and preach the good news. It doesn't mean that those who haven't heard will be damned. That had been a scary concept from a theological school during the Middle Age. On the contrary, he may well be damned at the end of the day, those only whoever do not want to receive this Christ's message, which is preached in all truth and light to all, at the hour of death, when Christ returns in the passage between this world and the next. These are the issues that Marthe Robin, but also Saint Faustina have testified to, and Pope Innocent III had already in the Middle Age also affirmed this in a book as an intuition.